As Daisy walked down the street, something strange caught her eye. An old, worn-out woman had just picked up a seemingly pristine tea kettle. In an instant, Daisy's greed flared. She quickly followed the old woman, sneaking into her home. The kettle was casually placed in a corner of the room. When the old woman stepped out, Daisy seized the opportunity. She approached the kettle, grabbed it, and quietly slipped out the door. Her boyfriend was already waiting outside, car running. They sped off, eager to see if the kettle was as valuable as they hoped. But when they examined it, they were disappointed. It wasn't gold, it was brass. They let out a sigh, but kept the kettle anyway, wondering if it still held some secret value. Back at home, Daisy carelessly tossed the kettle aside. But then, something strange began to unfold. While using her curling iron, Daisy accidentally burned her scalp. At that exact moment, the kettle began to tremble. Confused, Daisy opened the lid, and out fell several bills of money. She couldn't believe her eyes. The more she stared at the money, the more a wild thought began to form in her mind. She clenched her jaw and grabbed the curling iron again. And to her shock, more money spilled from the kettle. Daisy couldn't speak, stunned by what she had discovered. Her theory was right. This was no ordinary kettle. The kettle seemed to dispense money based on the injury's severity. It was like a twisted, real-life Aladdin's lamp. To prove her hypothesis, she kicked a piece of furniture. Immediately, more bills spilled out. Just as she expected, Daisy couldn't stop herself. She kept testing, pushing the limits, until her boyfriend came home, stepping into the chaos of the room. When he saw Daisy covered in bruises, he thought the house had been robbed. Daisy didn't have time to explain. With a mysterious smile, she led him to the living room before he could say anything. She slapped him across the face. Completely confused, he stood there in shock. Before he could even process what was happening, Daisy grabbed the kettle and more bills poured out, one after another. She told him about the kettle's strange power. Her boyfriend didn't believe her at first, thinking it was just a cruel joke, but Daisy knew there was no use explaining more. In a sudden move, she kicked him hard. He staggered back, falling to the ground in pain, and as he did, more money spilled from the kettle. Finally, Daisy's boyfriend was convinced, but even as the money poured in, an uneasy feeling settled deep in his gut. He knew if this kept going, there would be dangerous consequences.